A clear, easy explanation inspired by Stephen Covey's ideas. Personal vision is the foundation of human growth. It is the starting point of all the 7 habits because it deals with the most powerful truth of all, the ability of human beings to choose who they will become. Unlike animals, which act mostly from instinct or training, human beings have inner powers that allow them to rise above circumstances and shape their own lives. This idea is the heart of Stephen Covey's principle of proactivity, and it is what separates truly effective people from those who remain stuck or controlled by their environment. This chapter focuses on several key ideas: self-awareness, the social mirror, deterministic theories, the freedom to choose, and the circle of influence. Together these ideas shape our understanding of ourselves and show us how to build a life based on principles rather than reactions. 2. Self-awareness. The human power to step outside ourselves. Humans possess a remarkable ability: we can observe ourselves. We can think about what we are thinking. We can watch our own behavior and evaluate it. We can step outside our feelings, our moods, and even our thoughts, and look at them as if they belong to someone else. This is called self-awareness, and animals do not have it. A dog can feel afraid or hungry or excited, but it cannot reflect on why it feels that way or what that feeling means. Humans can. This ability allows us to examine our habits, change our thinking, question our assumptions, learn from our mistakes, grow beyond our limitations. Self-awareness is the root of personal freedom. When we recognize that we are not simply our feelings or our habits, we realize that we have the power to change. The social mirror: how others shape our self-image. Despite our capacity for self-awareness, many people allow their identity to be shaped by what others think and say. Our society, family, workplace, friends, and culture often act like a social mirror, reflecting back an image of who they believe we are, or who they need us to be. Sometimes this mirror is distorted. You're irresponsible. You're lazy. You're not smart. You can't do anything right. You're so emotional. These messages, especially when heard repeatedly, can become internal scripts. Instead of seeing ourselves clearly, we begin to see ourselves through these cloudy reflections. When we internalize other people's expectations or judgments, we stop living from principles and start living from reactions. Our potential shrinks. Our choices narrow. Our lives become controlled by opinions, not values. This is why Covey warns us: we must examine how we see ourselves and others. If we don't, we risk living according to a distorted image instead of our true nature. Deterministic theories: you are controlled by your circumstances. Modern psychology and culture often describe human behavior as something determined by outside factors. Covey explains 3 common deterministic views. 1. Genetic determinism. You act this way because of your DNA. You are angry, your grandfather was angry. You're emotional because you were born that way. This view says your biology determines your destiny. 2. Psychic determinism. You act this way because of your upbringing. Your childhood trauma made you insecure. You avoid risk because your parents were strict. This view says your past defines you. 3. Environmental determinism. You act this way because of your environment. My boss makes me angry. My spouse makes me unhappy. This view says your circumstances and people around you control your emotions and actions. These theories may contain some truth, but they are incomplete. They remove choice. They turn human beings into victims of forces they cannot control. Covey challenges these ideas because they deny the most powerful human capacity, the ability to choose our response. Between stimulus and response, the space where freedom lives. To understand why determinism is incomplete, Covey shares the profound story of Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps. Frankl lost his family, endured starvation, humiliation, freezing conditions, and daily fear of death. But in the midst of the horror, he discovered something extraordinary. He realized that even though the guards controlled his physical environment, they could not control his inner world. He still had the power to choose. His attitude. His thoughts. His meaning. His response. He described this as the last of the human freedoms. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and freedom. Frankl used imagination and memory to mentally place himself in classrooms after the war, teaching others the lessons he was learning. He helped other prisoners find meaning. He kept his dignity even in suffering. His story proves that human beings are not prisoners of their circumstances, even in the worst imaginable conditions. 6. The 4 human endowments. Human beings have 4 special gifts that allow us to rise above our environment. Self-awareness, the ability to examine ourselves. Conscience, the inner moral sense of right and wrong. Imagination, the ability to envision possibilities beyond the present. Independent will, the power to act according to our values. These powers allow us to write new scripts for our lives. Animals cannot. Machines cannot. But we can. The more we use these endowments, the freer and more effective we become. 6. Proactivity, choosing your own response. Proactivity is the first habit because it is the foundation for the others. Proactivity means you take responsibility for your life. Your behavior is based on values, not feelings. You choose your reactions. You act instead of waiting to be acted upon. It does not mean being aggressive or pushy. It means owning your choices. A reactive person says, "He made me angry. I can't help it. That's just who I am. I have to do this. There's nothing I can do." A proactive person says, "I control my feelings. I choose my response. I can take initiative. I am responsible. I decide based on my values." Even in small things, weather, traffic, rude people, the proactive person maintains inner control. Language, the window into our paradigms. Our words reveal how we see ourselves. Reactive language shows helplessness. I can't. I have to, they won't let me. If only. Proactive language shows choice. I choose. I prefer. I will. Let's find a solution. By listening to your own language, you can discover whether you are living proactively or reactively. 8. Love as a verb, values over feelings. Covey uses a powerful example, a man who told him he no longer loved his wife. The man said he lost the feeling of love. Covey answered, "Then love her." The man didn't understand, how can he love if he doesn't feel love? Covey explained, "Love is not a feeling, it is an action. Feelings are results of actions. When you show kindness, listen, serve, appreciate, sacrifice, you create love." In proactive thinking, feelings follow actions. Not the other way around. 9. Circle of concern and circle of influence. One of the most practical tools in this chapter is the idea of 2 circles. Circle of concern. Things we worry about but cannot control. Weather. Other people's opinions. The economy. Government. The past. Reactive people spend most of their energy here and feel powerless. Circle of influence. Things we can control. Our habits. Our attitudes. Our decisions. Our behavior. Our responses. Proactive people focus on these areas. As they do, their influence grows. They become more confident, more effective, and more trusted by others. This principle is the difference between empowerment and helplessness. Taking initiative, creating your own circumstances. Proactive people do not wait for opportunities, they create them. They do not wait for the right mood, they choose their attitude. They do not wait for permission, they act according to values. Covey shares examples of people who wanted better jobs but waited for someone else to guide them. The proactive person studies, plans, prepares, and acts without waiting. Initiative is not forcefulness, it is responsibility. It is maturity. It is recognizing that you are the author of your own life. 11. Act or be acted upon. Life is always moving. If you do not act, life will act on you. If you do not choose your script, the world will write it for you. Success requires intention, conscious choices, self-direction, responsibility. Proactivity is not about controlling.